Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? The Saints have continued their interview process for the coordinator positions on Kellen Moore's staff. They have completed interviews with Durante Jones for defensive coordinator, and now, per Adam Schefter, Jamal Singleton is also interviewed for the offensive coordinator vacancy. So Jamal Singleton was the Eagles' assistant head coach and running backs coach this year. So Kellen Moore was on staff with Singleton this year. It's interesting because it is widely assumed, has been widely assumed, that Doug Nussmeier is going to be the new Saints offensive coordinator coming over with Kellen Moore from Philly. And there have been other assistants with the Eagles that Kellen Moore has interviewed. I thought it was interesting because last week when we were in Houston doing the show, we had our buddy Brooks Cabina on with us. And Brooks covers the Eagles for The Athletic. And this was at a point where Kellen Moore had been officially hired. There were the Nussmeier and Brandon Staley rumors about, or reports about the staff. And I asked Brooks about Kellen Moore coming over and possibly bringing Eagles staff members with him. And it was interesting how he presented it through through Nick Sirianni's lens, the Eagles head coach, of how he normally handles his assistants who go get head coaching jobs, but then try to poach the staff.
He is very encouraging for all of his coaches to go get head coaching jobs, but once they do, you're not taking any of my guys. He locks down his staff. That's something that he carried over from working with Frank Reich. Frank Reich had the same deal. Support, go get you a job, but these are my guys. This is the success we've had. So I don't think he's going to get anybody that was a part of the staff before he got there. I think Nussmeier has been his guy, and I think Sirianni will realize that. And Kevin Patullo has been Sirianni's guy back to the Colts days together, even before that.
So remember, the two names that had largely been discussed were Nussmeier and Patullo. Those are the first two on the Eagles staff. So, by the way, so there's Nussmeier, Patullo, and now the report of the Saints interviewing Jamal Singleton for the offensive coordinator job as well. Brooks made a prediction in that interview as well. Here it was.
I think he'll only get two. I think he'll get Doug Nussmeier to come with him, and then also Kyle Valero. Those were the two that he brought with him from the Chargers.
So Valero, by the way, we haven't even heard that name yet, but Patullo, Valero, Nussmeier, and now Singleton interviewing. So listen, there's only so much that Nick Sirianni can do. If another staff is offering you a promotion financially and in job title, I mean, it's hard to pass on it. But you heard him mention there, Nussmeier, Valero, and then also Patullo interview, and now Singleton. We'll see how it may all fall. Something else worth considering is for head coach and coordinator positions, you must satisfy the Rooney Rule, meaning you have to interview a minority candidate. From the day Kellen Moore got this job, even before, it's largely been assumed that Brandon Staley was going to be the defensive coordinator and Doug Nussmeier would be the offensive coordinator. Well, that doesn't satisfy the Rooney Rule. So Durante Jones has interviewed for the defensive coordinator role, and now Jamal Singleton has interviewed for the offensive coordinator role. That's two black men who have now interviewed, so you have satisfied the Rooney Rule. Candidly, I hate talking about it that way, but it's the reality of the situation. You can't hire someone until you satisfy the Rooney Rule. So there's part of me that looks at it and says, I hate that these feel like token interviews. However, that's also how coaches at times have gotten opportunities that maybe otherwise would not have. And the impetus for this was Mike Tomlin. That's why Mike Tomlin got the Steeler job. Is the Rooney family interviewed Tomlin. They were so impressed they offered him the job when he wasn't the leading candidate. And so it's a great opportunity for these coaches to get the opportunity to go interview and have their name mentioned. The other part of it is it does feel like it's just an obligatory exercise when you've already made your decision. And quite candidly, we could talk about how Jamal Singleton might fit. And look, he's a veteran coach. He's 49 years old. He was born in Turkey. He's in the Air Force. He coached at Air Force, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, then jumped into the NFL with the Colts, Raiders, Bengals, now the Eagles. I mean, he is a very well-traveled, accomplished coach who's 49 years old. He's a veteran. He's been coaching now for the last 23 years or 24 years. Like, is he capable? I'm sure, especially in an offense where Kellen Moore is going to call the plays. But from the Saints' perspective, as I look at it, I'm looking at the youngest head coach in the NFL at 36 years old, and I want to surround him with veteran, experienced coaches, particularly experienced head coaches or coordinators, guys that could be a great resource, which is why I think like Brandon Staley on the defensive side would be the right hire. He's been a coordinator. He's been a head coach in the league. I mean, look at the two teams that just played in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, their defensive coordinator is Steve Spagnuolo. The Eagles, their defensive coordinator is Vic Fangio. These are veteran defensive minds in the NFL. That's why I think like a guy like Brandon Staley, who's got that experience as a defensive coordinator, as a head coach, would serve him well. With Doug Nussmeier, he's been with Kellen Moore every year since 2018 in Dallas. Like, that would serve Kellen Moore well in this situation. Someone who knows him, they know each other, we know they work well together. I'm not saying hire yes men. I'm saying hire people that you know you can work with and achieve max efficiency. So all this will be sorted out how they play it out. But Jamal Singleton, the latest to interview for offensive coordinator, I still think that this is the way that it's going to go, is that we're going to see Staley as the defensive coordinator, Nussmeier as the offensive coordinator. But it will be interesting to see, are there any other assistants from that Philadelphia staff that Kellen Moore may bring with him? To be continued. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.